My name is Kevin Viata, and this is my presentation of Zora Neale Hurston. And the title is "What is Paper and Ink Without the Writing?" This is Zora Neale Hurston, and these are her works. I'll be focusing on artistry, culture, and education, and how that shaped the Harlem Renaissance while she was alive, and even before that. Um, her, her first uh, her first story is John Redding Goes to Sea. It starts at 1921, and towards the end of the Harlem Renaissance, 1938, she has the book Sell My Horse. However, the three most notable, the most recognized are Jonah's Gourdvine, Mules and Men, and Their Eyes Are Watching God. Artistry. So Zora Neale Hurston um, differs from her contemporaries because she focuses on the rural when the artists during her time in the Harlem Renaissance were focusing on the urban, where people were talking about, the streets, jazz, the clubs, the speakeasies, you name it, urban city life. And Zora Neale Hurston was talking about people and how they lived their everyday lives in rural areas and how they were just poor people trying to get by, and they have their own culture as well. And Zora Neale Hurston wanted to defy her critics by composing a new style for the time. It was revolutionary because she began writing African American or African diasporic literature that is folkloric, which was widely ignored at that time because everyone was writing about urbanization. Here's Zora Neale Hurston at a book fair, and she's reading American stuff. And during this time, she began to travel, to record, and to collect different information of the African diaspora and the culture. Her main thing was to go around the southern areas, the rural areas, and going to um, the Bermuda, the Bahamas, and Haiti. And so, because of that, she had to do research and to marry her research with her writing. And because of that, she highly, um, she highly, she highly went into research of the rural because there wasn't any literature at that time on how African American people or black people live their life in rural areas. There wasn't representation, and so she was shaping literature to the folkloric, representing black women when at the time they were representing masculinity and male driven stories. And she wanted to focus on the poor and to give them a new light and to give them a space so that there could be a discussion and, yeah, education. So, Zora Neale Hurston has a ton of books and a ton of short stories, and a few of them are urban herself, but as she grew as an artist, she decided to focus her her writings towards the African rural diaspora. And so education is a means of where she contributes to the Harlem Renaissance because of the vernacular, the orality that she reproduces and she animates to life. She educates future generations by giving them a view into the past and how they talked and how people lived during the rural time in the Harlem Renaissance. And basically, Zora Neale Hurston wanted to collect the stories of her culture, mix it with her art, and to educate people all at the same time. Here is Cujo, and he's one of the last slaves to be owned by a slave owner. And so in this picture, she's sitting with him, and it looks like they're having a good time. And she wrote a story about him, and she published it. So to conclude, Zora Neale Hurston, her art is a is a is a way of revolutionizing the way we think of how the rural looks like, how the rural sounds like, what they think, and she brings it to life through her fiction. So it's a way of understanding the rural black life during that time. And her voyages to different areas of the African diaspora led her to create these pieces and to educate people on the diaspora. She accomplished her goal of educating people. As you can see, we're doing presentations, and mine so happens to be about Zora Neale Hurston. And here's a book of Their Eyes Are Watching God, and a pen and a paper, because with the ink inside here, she was able to create something new, something revolutionary, just by using ink and her artistry to represent her culture and to educate people, to get rid of that misconception of the old Negro, because during the Harlem Renaissance, it was about the new Negro, which means to get rid of the image of the old Negro, which is this image of the minstrel, the black face, and just pure racism through the eyes of Eurocentricity. And the whole Harlem Renaissance was about shifting that to the African diaspora. They have the same who they are. They have the same in how they are represented. And so, yeah, it's just powerful stuff. Thank you.